And when we asked the other professionals, will you take a haircut? Nobody said, no, we won't. I says, believe me, take the money. We offered them, they're not going to take a discount, fine. That's Allah's will, fuck them, I don't give a shit. And so he's the only guy that got paid. And of course now, like he says, do what Dan says. Do what Dan says, you know. But he went dinosaur hunting. And you can get the deals done. But if you're going to do a $3-4 billion deal, do it in Canada, the U.S., Germany, you know, France, Spain, because you'll get paid. The Prime Minister, Theresa May, ain't going to take $50 million off the top. I hope. You know, I can't guarantee that. But I mean, in the rest of the world, I mean.
So do you have any examples of QLA students in the Middle East?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I've got, with Jordan right now. I've got the school headmaster, Kuwaiti headmaster, and coincidentally, he's doing joint ventures with Jordan. Now, I don't know if Jordan is more reliable. I don't know the answer to any of that. Okay, well, he's got over there shaking his head. No. I don't have anybody in Doha. No, not yet. But I think, don't they run down the street and cut your throat and take your sack of money? You know, yeah. Oh, they'll hit you with your Rolls Royce. But I mean, he's a great example. I mean, but he came pretty close. I don't think he would have gone broke. I think he would have jumped off the fucking penthouse that he lived in before he did that. But he's a smart guy. But he got in the door. He was able to get in the doors. The persistence, so the kids are doing big deals, but the big deals take time. And most people that come through here they're sucking on that tailpipe. You can only suck on that tailpipe so long, you know, then your lungs get burned out. Yeah, sing.
Asian countries that follow the rule of law would be Singapore.
Sure, correct.
Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, Malaysia.
It's iffy.
Malaysia, you have to grant everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's iffy.
Indonesia, no.
No. What? No, Vietnam. No. China, no. They have rule of law there. They do. Yeah. There's no question about it. But
So it's basically Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Yep.
Basically like Western Korea. Yep.
Yeah. But there's a whole big world out there. You know, there's a whole big world out there. You know. We can all move to Bulgaria, and we can take his businesses away from him, you know, and we'll leave him for dead in the street, you know. But I mean, I show this because big deals. I mean, you can do big deals, but I mean, there's a lot of other bells and whistles you gotta be concerned about if you want to get paid, you know. And when the 180 million came down, and they always think that you're not telling them the truth. There's only 181 million here. Yeah, well, you can find 300 million more for me. You know, and you can't squeeze the World Bank or the IMF. You can't. In my experience, maybe if somebody's squeezing them, I don't know. I've never bumped into them. And of course, it's nothing you brag about. You don't brag to just squeeze the World Bank. But I sat on a Concorde plane many years ago with a former president of the World Bank, McNamara, who was the kind of the grandfather of the Vietnam War for Nixon and then Kennedy, really. And he told me, he said that he believed in the apocalypse. The world was ending. And this was 20 plus years ago. And it was quite interesting. Back in the days when they had the Concorde, I mean, and I'm sorry, I know that people died and all that, but I mean, really high performance people flew that fucker. You landed before you took off. So you took off at 9:15, you landed at 9:05. You took off in London 9:15, and you landed, and there was always, I sat next to Muhammad Ali once, but I met him before, but him once, and McNamara, the head of the World Bank, and the Rockers. This is before they started buying their own planes, would fly. And they used to have a Concorde to Dallas, Texas, for all the oil guys. And they used to have a Concorde to Houston. And I've flown that. And the Concorde also went from Paris, obviously, because it was a joint venture between the French and the English. But it was a hell of a deal. It was quite an experience. And not so much for the plane, and you could see the edge of the, because you flew at 65,000 meters, you could see the curvature of the earth, because you're up that high, but the people that flew on the plane, because they only had I guess they would call it super first class, but I mean the seats weren't big, and they weren't big like in a first class in a regular plane. They were small small seats, excuse me. But I mean it was relatively expensive. It was $10,000 one way from London to New York, but you met some really interesting people. I mean, you could fill up your fucking board on one flight. You're going around, seeing who's there. And in the Concorde Lounge, which they still have, but it's not the same because the Concorde people, they've kept at Heathrow the name Concorde Lounge, but it's not the same people. But it's like that guy that called me New Year's Eve. Dan, can you do me a favor? Can you buy this thing from me right now? You want to put yourself in a position where you know people like that. As opposed to, when they call you on New Year's Eve and they're asking you to bail them out of jail for being drunk on New Year's Eve. Mate. Any comments or questions about Simon? He is a good shit though. He really is. And he's funny. And, of course, now he's slimmed down. I say this, I can't believe. Simon, if you still drink even a fraction of that, because we just saw you on webinar, you send me an email. I can't imagine, because I told him that you were probably the biggest drinker I've ever known. And I've known some big drinkers in my time. But you can get those big deals done. But you're risking time. So my recommendation is you do the 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 million, so you got some fuel in your tank. You're not sucking on the exhaust pipe. And then you go dinosaur hunting. Because, you only need one of those. You only need one of those.
So dinosaurs are what, 1 billion plus?
No, 1 billion, no, it's several $1 billion or pounds or whatever the currency is. But I mean, now just think in your little brains, overfinancing a $3 billion deal, 20%, even if you fuck it up, it's at $600 million. And I know to you guys, you big hitters in here in the room, $600 million probably, fuck, I'm not dropping the bucket to you. But, you can buy a couple of planes and service all your mistresses and even take care of your wife at the same time if you have one. Or if you got multiple wives, you can take care of them. Who's my 5:30, please? 6:30. Okay, we're eating in the castle tonight. And you got your affirmations. You're going to see a movie again. Any questions from anybody about anything before I break? Okay, kids, we'll see you tonight.